Tony, a lovely July Saturday here in Church Langley. Do you do this outdoor surgery every month?
We do this every month, first Saturday of each month.
And what are the typical questions you get?
Wide-ranging questions, not only from people in Church Langley. So, although there's no council housing on Church Langley, we still get questions about housing. So Simon Carter's our authority on that, so he'll deal with those sorts of things. I usually deal with anything to do with the environment, so waste collections and roads and parking and all that sort of thing comes my way.
And sometimes that matter of signposting, for example, if it comes to potholes,
Yeah.
then you have to say people, that's Essex.
Essex County Council. We've got Eddie Johnson, he often comes along with us so he can pick those up.
And when it comes to housing, and anybody wanders around or indeed tries to jog around Church Langley, that you often see a lot of to let, a lot of for sale signs.
Yep.
How is the recession impacting upon the people? If it is a recession, if we're still in recession, how is it impacting upon people in Church
Well, I think
Langley?
we're pretty lucky here in the southeast that we haven't seen anything like they have up north. Not that I'm an authority on what happens up north, because I don't often go that way. But Church Langley normally has a fairly good turnover because there's a lot of buy-to-let housing there. So about 10% of people churn each year. So we have to keep our eye on the voters register to make sure that we know who we've got on our books.
Seen you in cabinet, how are the Tories, how are the Conservatives doing in the town when it comes to working in the council? Are you getting your point across?
It's very difficult because a lot of the stuff which is important to the town and is important to the council, the stuff that we introduced or worked hard on during our period in office. And so the Labour administration have taken that over. They haven't made any big changes. Some of the things which they said they didn't like or didn't want are still there and being quite successwood. The outside funding that we drew in for some of the essential services, like Pets Corner and the paddling pools and Pound and Wood, those sorts of issues which we brought in outside funding for, are still being funded by people other than the council, other than the taxpayer, and quite successfully too.
So when you talk about the regeneration agenda and issue, is that something that, to outsiders, that's the way the Tories very much were on top of that in Harlow?
Well, of course, the regeneration has stalled somewhat with the problem over the developer for the town centre pulling out at that time. And of course, the climate for big investment has not been particularly great, so we haven't yet managed to get off the ground with reinvestment in the town centre. That was the next big project, but we have managed to keep going with some of the smaller projects, and so